Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review, and what we have right now is the Masakage Yuki Gyuto 180mm knife. Marcus has been bringing in more 180 Gyuto knives at the request of some of his customers, so there's quite a good selection these days on the site. So the core steel in this line is Shitogami or white paper number 2 reactive high carbon steel from Hitachi. They take it to around 62, 63 Rockwell hardness. The construction is 3 layers. On either side of that harder reactive core steel, they've got a softer stainless steel cladding for easier maintenance. So you only have to worry about that steel at the very edge, that core steel as far as patina and corrosion, I should say reactivity goes. It looks like the cladding does cover the spine, so that is low maintenance as well. And the style of this cladding has a mottled finish to it that's known as a nashiji or pear skin finish. These have a fair amount of refinement to them, so they're, I guess, what I would call refined rustic. So fairly smooth finish on them. And then you can see the core steel at the edge and then the generous edge bevel. Really sharp out of the box, 7 out of 10. This thing was razor sharp out of the box, as most Masakage knives are. So we'll get a close-up look again in a second. The weight and dimensions will vary a little bit from knife to knife because of the handmade nature, but this particular one is 128 grams or 4.5 ounces. The edge length is right about 180 on the nose or 7.1 inches. And then the overall length is about 326 millimeters or 12.8 inches. The spine thickness, again, these will vary. This particular one's about 3 millimeters coming out of the handle. And then about halfway down, I measured about 2 1/4. And then it doesn't have too much taper off of that, but it starts to thin out just a bit. And then the grind's pretty generous on these. You can see the flat and then the primary grind starts. And so it thins out pretty nicely at the very tip. So these are high performance knives. And they get quite thin at the edge as well. Nice grinds on these, around a 50-50 type of knife grind. So great for ambidextrous users, or I should say lefties and righties. Blade height on these is about 43 millimeters. Handle is their standard oval hoe wood or magnolia wood handle with a red Paca wood ferrule. Nice fit and finish on the handle. Everything's really smooth. And then the handle install is nice and tight. I like to, on these, do a little bit of a sealer on it. You could do mineral oil. I use something called Watco Danish oil, like a tongue oil type thing, to kind of keep the dirt from getting on this, because you start getting stains and stuff on that real light colored wood, especially on the end here where it's unfinished. So you might be advised to put some kind of sealer on this to help out that situation a little bit. 2.9 inches or about 74, 75 millimeters here. Circumference as far as the size of the handle. And you've got your typical Masakage curve choil into the neck for a pinch grip, really made for a pinch grip. And there's your pinch grip, nice and comfortable. Balance point, these handles are pretty light, not particularly long, so that brings your balance point to a pretty decent spot that's not too far off a pinch grip. My pinch grip's a little bit in front of that, but not by a lot, so nice neutral kind of nimble feel. So I said fit and finish is nice on these. They've polished the spine. They've polished the choil a little bit, so real smooth. Everything's nicely done. Razor sharp out of the box, so just pull it out, except for the handle maybe. If you want to finish that, just start working. Let's look at the profile on this. So here's what she looks like on the cutting board. Just kind of a gentle belly throughout, not a big flat. You got a little bit of flat towards the very back, but it's kind of a gentle belly throughout. The tip's fairly low, so I'm going to start digging in about there. So I'm not going to get super high on a rock on this, but it'll rock over kind of, smaller stuff, no problem. Real smooth profile, just kind of flows easily either direction. So really cool looking knife. So if you want something a little bit smaller than a 210 and you like this style, it's really cool. These are great, really nicely crafted knives, great core steel, look cool, sharpen up easily. So it's a great package. So this is the Masakage Yuki Gyuto 180mm knife.